We do know the president's trip comes as he nears a decision possibly on declaring a national emergency, something that could allow him then to bypass Congress and get the wall built. Political reporter Jack Fink is in Dallas. This would almost definitely face a legal challenge if it were to come to pass, right?
Well, yes, Doug. A constitutional law expert I spoke with says while the president does have legal authority to declare a national emergency, Democrats could fight back in two ways: with a lawsuit or with a vote or both. But the expert says the president would still likely have the upper hand.
The president does have authority to declare a national emergency.
SMU constitutional law professor Dale Carpenter says the president has 123 different provisions of federal law providing for some kind of emergency power, including the National Emergencies Act Congress passed in 1976. The president would be able to declare an immigration emergency, which would allow him to build the wall or barrier by spending money from the Defense Department that's not already allocated for a program. Carpenter says Democrats could challenge the president in court, claiming the situation along the border is not really an emergency. The case would eventually get to the U.S. Supreme Court. So it's very much an uphill legal battle for Democrats.
It seems like an uphill battle for Democrats simply because the court is very reluctant to displace the judgment of the president on national security and immigration matters.
Carpenter says Democrats in the House could also vote against the president's declaration and then would have to convince the Republican majority in the Senate to do the same. If so,
it would face a veto by the President of the United States, and then Congress could override conceivably the veto of the president only with a two-thirds vote in each of the houses.
Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely.
If President Trump declares a national emergency, SMU political science professor Cal Jilson says it would solve the immediate stalemate. Does any side win politically?
Well, I think the public wins because that will allow the government to be reopened. It will allow both sides to claim that they won.
And Jilson says if the president makes that emergency declaration, the case could be tied up in the courts, and so the Trump administration may not be able to build a barrier or wall right away. Live in Dallas tonight, Jack Fink, CBS 11 News.